Welcome back to your last budget launch, where we are learning how to use the zero debt budget. In this video, we are going to be talking about how to handle cash in your budget. So we're going to do two primary methods, right? The first one is going to be for people who sometimes use cash, like have some cash in their wallet, but basically just pay for things with their debit card or possibly credit cards. And the second method is going to be for people who use cash a lot. Like they have a certain amount of cash they take out for groceries, and they set aside cash in like sinking funds in envelopes. So we'll talk about both of those methods. If you do not use cash a lot, you are simply going to show your spending as an ATM transaction because it's going to reflect what you do in reality, right? So we're just using the spreadsheet based on where we stand with where I left off. So let's say that it's March 17th and you go to the ATM, right? And you take out $100 and it came out of your checking account. Well, now here's the catch. It has to come from somewhere, and that's one of my favorite lines. Like, it's got to come from somewhere. What category are you taking this from? So there are a couple ways to think about this. You're going to take it from the category that it's for, basically. So if it's for groceries and household, you're going to take it from there, which is going to drop your balance of that by 100, because you're then going to take that cash and go spend it on groceries and household, right? Maybe it's for, I was going to say dining out. Where did that go? Let's search for it. There it is. Okay. And that's going to overspend it. You would have to put another $50 in there. You'd have to take it from somewhere, move the money $50 from somewhere to get this to 100, or you've overspent this category, right? Like maybe this is for like your coffee drive-throughs or something. But let's say you went to the ATM and you took out $100, but it wasn't all for one thing, right? So maybe it's for like three things. You could then do this. I'm going to copy and paste this in. I would still put in your dates. Just double click and put them in. And let's say you had some money for dining out, you had some money for groceries, and you had some money for personal care products. And so we wanted $20 for dining out. You were going to do $30 for personal care. And then the other 50 was for groceries and household. And all of these are coming out of checking. Remember, make sure you fill out everything here, otherwise it won't be accurate. So all of this together, as I highlight and look at the sum, it is $100. So I took out $100 from the ATM. This is what I'm planning to use them for. And so this is what I want to basically like hold it against my like $20 from dining out. Now I only have $30 left in that category. Now, if you're suddenly thinking to yourself, well, I thought the ATM was kind of like free money, right? Like I'd take out $100 and like before I did this, I never had to think about what category it was. And then like I just had it. It was just for random stuff when it came up. It's not like a category. Well, that is one of those leaks that happens. Like money leaks out of your account if you're not budgeting with a zero-based budget. And so we don't think about those things like, well, I just took out $100 at the ATM. Like, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that something is short, whether you were tracking your stuff or not. So another way of going about this is like part B of if you don't use cash that often, you can have an ATM category. So you could go back to your planning page and add a category in, maybe under here, and it would say ATM. It would say last day of the month. You could, if you know, like, well, yeah, every month I take out like about $100 and then I just like use it as cash on hand for random stuff and I don't want to track it really. You could just say ATM category and then you would choose that category. It would say ATM in here and you would take it out of your checking. And then it's like off the grid, right? You don't even have to say what category it was for. As long as you funded your ATM category with assign this month, you can take that money out and then you spend it however you want. All right, so I'm going to take these out. I'm just arrowing around on my keyboard and hitting the backspace button. I will go over this in one of the other videos, but just a quick heads up, if I'm here and I accidentally hit delete, that's, kind of a problem. I could either do Control or Command Z if I'm like right on it, but let's say like I didn't notice it. Under these are in the line of category. As long as you are, like I'm gonna click here and arrow down. If I copy this and then arrow up and paste, it will put the same drop down back in. So that's fine, so don't panic. All right. Back over here, if you use cash a lot, you are going to want to have something called a wallet account or a cash account, or, if your name is Jen, you could be like Jen's purse or something. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, right? You're going to put in to the penny what's in your wallet. Like this is one of those pro-con things where the downside to this is you are now responsible for keeping track of every single penny. If you want to go about this. So if the starting balance in your wallet is $68.45, that will add the money here, okay? And then you can budget that. What you typically do is if the money in your wallet is for something like groceries, that would probably be part of groceries, right? And so rather than taking out a calculator and adding this, I'm just going to hit delete. And then this number is what I know to put back in here because that's the total of it. When you delete something from here, it just bumps back up here, okay? So I'm gonna put that back down here. So I budgeted that money into groceries. Now, do I have to use that cash for groceries? No, I don't. I could spend it on something else, but then I need to, rely on my checking account for groceries later. It really doesn't matter just so long as you don't have any red alerts and you're checking your budget category, not your bank account or your wallet before you spend the money, right? So if you've got this as your wallet and let's say this transaction at the grocery store, this first one, let's pretend that wasn't our checking. Let's say it was our wallet. So now we spent $32.47 in cash. It means that our wallet should now have $35.98 left in it. And by doing that, it put that amount of money back into checking. So it basically took it from here and moved it up to checking. So let's say that this is underway and you've got this, but you're like, oh, I'm getting low on cash. I need more cash. Here's what to do. This is important. Unlike the other situation where we put in an ATM transaction, these are now accounts, so you are transferring it between accounts. So let's say I went to the ATM because I needed more cash. Let's say I took out $160, but I'm simply moving that money from checking to my wallet. So I didn't spend it, right? I have moved it from checking to my wallet. And now when I count what's in my wallet, it should be exact to the penny. Now, one final thing, I've seen some people do like the savings binders or the savings envelopes at home where they're saving up for a goal and they're going to save cash for it because, maybe it's fun or maybe it just helps you feel like it's more tangible, right? So let's say your holiday fund, like the gift fund, you wanted to do it in cash. Let's say you've got $250 sitting in cash in your bedroom in an envelope and it's your holiday fund. Notice how you've got $250 up here to budget, but that is your holiday fund. That's like the rollover, right? So in here we've got Christmas, holidays, whatever you want to call it. Maybe you assigned $70 this month. It looks like we already assigned $70 this month. So let's say that we're going to factor that in after, but I'm going to put the $250 here, right? And so you had $250 in cash, but you know that you set aside $70 in your budget for this. That means you really have $320 in the holiday or Christmas fund. So you could go to the bank and take out money and take out that $70 and bring it home and put it in the envelope. And now you've got $320 in the holiday fund. Or maybe you're doing this after the fact like we're doing right now and you're like, oh, wait a minute. No, I've got $250 in there right now. And that's $70 I actually need to put somewhere else. We're adding that into vacation. All these numbers tell you is that blue means this is more than you had originally said you needed. Orange is not as much as you said you needed, and green is exactly how much you needed. The reason this is different is this is a sinking fund. So even though you said I had $250 in there originally, because you did not add $70 this month, it's still asking for more. So one way of fixing this is if you want to finagle it around your first month, you can put in 70 here to make it all look nice, and then the remaining is 180. So we'll say that's the rollover. And you've got 250 because maybe your first month getting started, you really don't have more than what you already were going to put in. So you can move those numbers around. It's just these two together are what gives you available to spend. All right, so now you should be good to go with budgeting with cash.